Big 12 champions in 2008, 2009, and 2010 will try to be the first women's gymnastics team to win 4 straight Big 12 titles. In their way, traditional power Nebraska, ranked 11th. The Huskers are beating Michelle Browning from Iowa State. And Mary Burke from Missouri could challenge for the all-around championship. The Big 12 Gymnastics Championships are next. From the University of Missouri and Columbia, it's the Big 12 Gymnastics Championships. Inside the Hearn Center, 4 top teams that compete in gymnastics on the women's side are set to do battle. Greg Lucas here, along with John Roethlisberger, 4-time national champion in the all-around, 3-time Olympian. And, you know, there are some very good individual gymnasts here, and 3 of the 4 teams are ranked in the top 20, so we're going to see some pretty good action.
Oh, Greg, this is a great competition. Anybody out there who's not seen the Big 12 championships, they're in for a treat. And, you know, one of those teams, Oklahoma, in the last few years, in my opinion, has really established themselves as a power in the country. We can see 3 straight Big 12 titles, but as you look further down, their first ever NCAA Super 6 appearance and second at the NCAA championships. In my opinion, they're one of those teams that you're going to start to look for them every year in that top 6. And one of their studs, one of their stars, and they have a lot of them, but this young lady right here, she is outstanding. She is going to be one to watch, Megan Ferguson. But for Oklahoma, they have got a lot of great gymnasts. She ranks in the top 25 on 3 events, and she doesn't do all-around. They don't have any all-arounders competing for OU, but they are stacked top to bottom. But on a team that lost 5 seniors last year, she's filled that void of veteran leadership for Coach KJ Kindler.
Now, Nebraska is also a school to watch. Their strength is in the vault.
You know, these 2 girls right here, Laura and Erin, they together won the floor and the vault title at the Big 12 championship last year, but they're running out of chances to win that Big 12 team title. Nebraska's won 8 of them, but they haven't won in 4 years, so this is a chance for them. They got to hit all those individual big routines, and those 2 young ladies are 2 of them that have a lot of those great routines. They got to come through.
Now, those are the 2 deepest teams in the field, but we have some individual championships, especially in the all-around, that may be up for grabs with Missouri and Iowa State.
Yeah, ironically enough, the 2 teams that aren't favored to win the team competition are favored to win the all-around competition. And this young lady, Mary Burke, she's got kind of a legacy to uphold. Missouri has won the last 3 all-around titles, and she is ranked in the top 25 in the country in the all-around. So Missouri will look to her to bring home some individual hardware. And for Iowa State, they have actually the top-ranked all-arounder in the conference, Michelle Browning. She is a stud. She is a tough kid, her coaches say. Her teammates will follow her anywhere. So for Iowa State, that's their bright spot. But again, it's gymnastics, Greg. Anything can happen. You cannot count out Iowa State. You cannot count out Missouri. It's strange things. I've seen stranger things happen than a low-ranked team win the big conference title.
Well, the pressure is certainly on. You stay with us because the action starts next right here. Welcome back to the Hearn Center. We've got a nice crowd on hand. Let's take a look at the Big 12 championships as far as the first rotations are concerned. Who's going to start where? Iowa State on the vault, Nebraska on the bars, Missouri on the beam, and the favored school, Oklahoma, on the floor exercises. But that's not a bad spot for KJ Kindler, the coach, to have her team start, because they're very good there, aren't they?
They're not bad anywhere, Greg. And KJ Kindler really has established herself as one of the best college coaches in the country over the last few years, not just during her time at Oklahoma, but also at Iowa State, where she really did a lot with that team. So, you know, they're going to be tough to beat today, but again, Nebraska's no slouch, and it's gymnastics. Anything can happen. It's March Madness for a reason.
It sure is. Nebraska ranked number 3 in the nation right now, behind Florida and Alabama in the floor exercise, so they will start in what is their strongest of many events. KJ Kindler in her 5th year, in her first 4 years, she's won 3 times in a row with Oklahoma in this conference. Former star at Iowa State, assistant coach at Iowa State, head coach at Iowa State.
You can see the team right there firing up for floor exercise. And I watched them work out yesterday and a little bit warming up. And they have a look about them that really separates them. Just the eye test. You know, when you're at a basketball game and you see the big team come in with the 7-footers and you're like, man, they pass the eye test. Well, Oklahoma passes the eye test. They're very athletic. They have a presence about them. They have an approach that each athlete takes that just has an air of confidence that they're like, you know what, we're at the top, and this is where we belong.
First event of the day. This will be the floor exercise. Oklahoma represented by freshman Taylor Spears. What a tough spot to put a freshman in to start the Big 12 championships.
Yeah, you know, first up is always one of those spots. You got to have confidence because there is a lot of importance on this routine. You want to hit. You want to get your team started off on the right foot. Very nice opening pass from Taylor. And this is a good event for Oklahoma. They should, after this first rotation, be in the lead, given this is a strong event for them, a high-scoring event.
She's been very good in 3 events for this team, all but the vault. She's had a 9.87 as her top floor score, and she'd certainly be happy to get anywhere around that to open this meet.
Ironically enough, talking to KJ Kindler before the competition, she actually told me she feels like Oklahoma is an underdog coming into today because Nebraska has gotten a higher total team score during the course of the season. Actually have 2 events where they have a high score. So I don't know if she's trying to rationalize that to her team to not put the pressure on being favorites, but nonetheless, Nebraska is certainly a force to be reckoned with should they start to hit routines. Last pass, front with a 1.5 twist, called a Rudy. Fairly simple dismount, but she did her job. She came out and she hit a clean routine. The other gymnasts now she set the table for her teammates to come out and put up some big numbers.
She did outstandingly, especially when one also considers she wasn't in the original lineup. She comes out and gets a 9.8, and that is very, very good.
One more look at this dismount. Fairly simple, but when you do simple gymnastics, you got to do it clean, and that's exactly what Taylor did.
Uneven bars. This is Brittany Habib of Nebraska.
Nebraska was very excited about starting on bars. This is a rotation that they're used to in dual meets. They're used to starting on bars. Big release move, that's called the Jaeger. It's one of those events, though, that anything can go wrong at any time. When you have big release moves and very intricate skills like that, that's a stalter. Accidents can happen, but not today. Brittany Habib, good start. There's Coach Dan Kendig. Good start for Nebraska.
She's had a high of 9.85, and that might challenge that. She's from Ontario, Canada, and a senior. To the beam, Lawrence Mankowski. Swankowski from Pennsylvania, but of course for the hometown Missouri Tigers.
And talking about event, you know, maybe girls have a different perspective because they got to do the balance beam, but this is an event I would not want to start on. You already are nervous enough coming into the competition. It's nice to get an event under your belt, get comfortable, get relaxed a little bit, but right out of the gate from Missouri, this is going to put them to the test for sure. They're already underdogs. They're the lowest ranked team out of the 4 competing, and this is going to be absolutely critical. If they do not hit this event, they will not have a shot, period.
She's a sophomore, 9.8 her high beam score. Where would you rather have this? Second? I don't know if you want it fourth because sometimes you're a little more tired. But if you haven't competing in other events,
Greg, I'll be honest with you. I'd rather not have to do it at all.
Well, there are a lot of gymnasts that don't.
There are. No, you have a good point because you can wish it to be in a different spot, but eventually you got to do it regardless. Usually in the middle, you know, if you have to finish on beam 2, it's going to be a lot of pressure, especially if you're in the mix and you have to hit. So you talk to different gymnasts, and 4 different gymnasts, you get 4 different answers. But regardless, it's 4 inches wide, and it is a gauntlet.
She has competed in all 4 events throughout her career.
Nice combination. Very nice combination. Back handspring with one arm, then another back handspring to the dismount. Again, Missouri, every routine is critical for them. They do not have as many big hitters, and they don't have the depth, so each 10th is going to make a difference. Great job, Lauren.
On the bars, Laura Evanstad of Nebraska. She's one of the favorites in this event.
The coaches call her Steady Eddie. She does not make mistakes. Same release we saw from Habib earlier. It's very critical on bars to hit the handstands. Anytime you see a turning skill to a handstand or a cast like that, you've got to hit those handstands. That is money, Greg. That is money. Perfect landing, and honestly, a 9.75, that is tough score. I did not see any mistakes in there. Judges saw 2.5 tenths.
The action continues from the Big 12 Gymnastics Championship.
2-time defending all-around champion Sarah Shire. They are a very young team, 10 underclassmen, so they really look to gymnasts like Alex to take that leadership role and provide some confidence to the team.
She's had a 9.8 on the beam this year. She's a senior from Plano, Texas.
Big acro series. Just a little wobble, but that's very good. All the gymnasts are required to do a 2-skill acro series. That was back handspring to a layout step out. And those need to be connected. She paused ever so slightly in between those 2 leaps, but I think it wasn't long enough for her to get hit.
And a little bit of a struggle.
A little wobble on that, not bad. Probably a 1/10 of a point. That's a tough aerial walkover, blind landing. Your foot touches the beam, you're still not looking at it. Very, very tough. Gotta have good landings. Missouri is, they're rolling. They got the crowd on their feet. They got their teammates on their feet. And they're doing what they got to do. Hit routines.
Because this is a conference championship meet, let's take a look at the dismount.
It's a front full. Drops her shoulders a little bit off the end of the beam. Nonetheless, she has a good landing.
When
Nice
they
job.
listed the judges before the event, they made note how many of them were national judges. And that means they may be seeing a lot of these competitors for the first time. And like Brittany Skinner for Nebraska on the uneven bars. California native.
Big release move right here. Tkachev right to an overshoot. Nice. A little past the handstand on that overshoot, but a tough combination. They're rolling. Big dismount. Got to stick the landing.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable. Nebraska is putting themselves in a great, great position. 9.85, very nice score.
A lot of power on that and a lot of speed. I mean, that was very, very well done. Megan Ferguson of Oklahoma in the floor. She is one of the very best. All Big 12 in 3 events, including the floor. In fact, she's all Big 12 in everything except the vault, which she does not participate in.
She is a lot of fun to watch. She adds personality to her gymnastics. Not to mention, she does a lot of big stuff. Big mount, triple twist. Very difficult. The only gymnast, I believe, in this competition doing that pass.
She's from Kansas, journalism major, a junior.
Had a chance to chat with Megan a little before the competition, and she said one thing that she's really tried to do is become more of a leader. You know, they have a big group of upperclassmen graduate last year, 5 seniors, and so they had a little bit of a leadership void, and she's really taking it upon herself, which is not something she's always been comfortable with, but really been trying to be more of a leader for this young Oklahoma team. Got a tough dismount. Watch this. She changes directions at the end of this pass. Very difficult double twist punch front. And that is rock solid, automatic. We just call her automatic for Oklahoma.
She's going to score pretty well on that one, that's for sure, as her coach, A.J. Kindler, knows.
Take another look at this, I believe is the last pass. What makes it so difficult is she's going backwards. You land and you do a punch front forwards. I tell you what, you better have some strong knees and ankles if you're going to do that.
Wonderfully done. The OU team knows it for sure. .85 for Megan Ferguson.
There's a Big 12 champ for you. Demon, 2010 Big 12 champ, and they have found a way to keep her involved, and they should. She has got a lot to offer the sport and had a heck of a career, not just at Oklahoma, but for the United States, competing internationally.
Let's go to the beam. And Mary Burke. She is all Big 12 in the beam and all around.
Wow, a nice fight right there. She could have easily been off on that front touch mount. Very difficult mount. You don't see a lot of girls mount with a real difficult skill like that onto the beam. A lot of risk early on. Again, a little bit off there, giving away those tenths of a point. Obviously, it's going to hurt the team score, but remember, she is also working on her first ever hopeful all-around title. And nice cover-up right there, added this little bit of a half turn.
Coming into this meet, she was number 2 in the all-around scores for Big 12. This kid just exudes positivity. She always seems like she has a smile on her face, regardless of circumstances. Beautiful dismount sequence. 2 back handsprings to layout step out right to the dismount. Great way to construct the routine. If you're a little bit off on that layout step out at the end, it doesn't matter. You're doing a dismount. Beautiful combination. Another look at it right here. Add the layout step out right to the full. Other than a couple wobbles, that was a great routine from Mary. She is going to still be in the mix for that all-around title. Let's go back to the floor after that. Congratulations from her team. 9.8. Nice score on the beam.
Oh, man, if she didn't have those couple wobbles, that would have been a humongous score.
To the floor, the final competitor for Oklahoma is Kayla Nowak. She is a sophomore. She has recorded as high as a 9.5. From IGI Gym in Illinois, coached by Todd Gardner, who's generated countless national team members and collegiate gymnasts. Beautiful double pike mount. We're going to see a lot of those this afternoon. Kayla definitely has her own style, playing to the crowd a little bit. Now, the scouting report on her says she's got a magnetic personality, and that's shown to the crowd.
And that makes a difference. When you're smiling and you have music that's fun and energetic, and, you know, you catch those judges tapping their feet underneath the table every once in a while, it makes a difference. Maybe it's a quarter of a tenth, maybe it's a half a tenth, but by the end of the competition, those things make a difference.
Cyclones ready on bars.
Awkward on that landing, but great routine, great finish for Oklahoma. Comes out of the gate on a very strong event for them, and they do what they always do. And Greg, a 9.9, just what the doctor ordered.
Well, she was an old state champion in high school in Illinois, pretty big state, and has continued here as a sophomore here at Oklahoma. Action goes to the Iowa State team on the vault, and first up is Shea Anderson. Anderson's had a 9.85 for a high for her career.
This event has been a tough one for Iowa State all year. They've just had trouble getting these vaults on their feet, but not for Shea right there. Nicely done.
I want to ask you a technical question. Well, we'll take a look first at Michelle Browning. That technical question had to do with that little move. Had she been steady long enough before that second move on the foot to cost her points?
Usually the judges will take a deduction. Very unique vault. The handspring onto the board, handspring front pike off. You do not see that done. Very rarely in the world do you see a vault like that. Very unique.
Of course, she's going to be one of the contenders for the all-around, too. Here's Jody McKellar, the senior from Alberta, Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Jay Ronayne said they've been doing a lot of new vaults this year, and it's just been a struggle to get them to hit, but they've got 3 great ones from those 3 young ladies right there. Michelle, Jody, Shea, all doing nice 9-7 plus vaults. Great job for Iowa State.
Iowa State on the vault. Our activity will continue when we take a break and return. Welcome back to Columbia, Missouri, and the University of Missouri. We're at the Big 12 Championships of Gymnastics at the Hearn Center, and we're just about set for rotation number 2. And rotation number 2, you see the fans, nice crowd on hand. Vault will be Oklahoma. Iowa State will be on the bars. Nebraska the beam, and the floor exercise. That is where Missouri will work in rotation number 2. And let's take a look at team that's got a narrow lead after one rotation, Nebraska.
In the second rotation.
And this is a big point for them, because talking to that man right there, Coach Dan Kendig, he said this has been their Achilles heel this year. And if they can put it together, and I watched them practice, they have got great beam routines. They've got beam routines that can hang with Oklahoma without a doubt, but they got to hit. You can be as good as anybody in the world, but you don't stay on the beam, and it's not going to happen. So they got a lead, which is huge. Their bars beat Oklahoma's floor. That's big time. So they can just hit here. They're going to finish on 2 great events for them. Oklahoma is going to have a lot of work to do.
You know, every year you hope that you get a starting point, and then you use the season as a progression to try to get better and better and better. And our team has done that. And so we're at a point right now where we've just come off 3 meets at home, and we feel like we are hitting on all cylinders. And we're at a place right now where our team is confident, they've worked hard, they put in the time, and I couldn't be happy with where we're at right now. I feel like this is going to be our meet.
Maddie Steinauer, the senior from Omaha, will be up first for Nebraska.
And even though she's first up, she's got a lot of great gymnastics in this beam routine. A lot of fun to watch. Very unique combination right there.
Maddie's a senior who's headed toward medical school, she hopes. She's so good, she doesn't remember the last time she watched TV.
Wish I could say that.
Well, she's got to be watching this. She's in it.
She better be watching TV right now. Wait, not right now. This routine is so critical, too. First up, if she can put together good routine here. Nice combination right to the dismount. We saw it earlier. Perfect. She could not do a better routine than she did right there. That is so big for Nebraska. I don't know where the judges are going to find deductions. They're going to be hard-pressed not to throw a 9-9 for the first girl up. Look at this. Right to the full again. Her right foot slid ever so slightly, and honestly, I couldn't find one other thing in that routine. That is big time.
Alex Grant of Iowa State on the bars. That's where we're going next. There she is.
Iowa State started out on the vault, which hasn't been a great event for them, but they have a chance here on a very good event for them. The uneven bars ranked 13th in the country, and this is according to Coach Jay Ronayne, who you see standing there in the fine-looking suit, said this is an event that they have the most depth on, and actually has the most depth in a long time. They actually have 9 routines that they could pick from that are competition worthy. So as a coach, you love that kind of depth.
From Toronto, Canada, Alex Grant is a senior.
Alex Grant is next on the bar for Iowa State.
He's one of many gymnasts who had to battle back from an injury. She had an Achilles torn in 2008 preseason and had to come back from that.
Vaulting for Oklahoma.
We have not seen that yet today. That's a ganger, a back flip essentially with a half twist, regrasping the bar. Beautiful, right to the handstand on that pass. Great start. Great start. Not a whole lot more she could have done on that one. Had a nice release move, nice handstand work. This is something that people don't really realize what's going on with the grip. You can see those leather straps, they have dowels in them. Helps the gymnast hang on. And it's very intricate. You miss one of those hands just ever so slightly, and you're going to come right off the bar. It's
Next for Oklahoma will be
a lot more difficult than it looks.
This is Emily Wong.
And we got over there just in time to see an awesome combination from her. High risk and high reward. Nailed it. Great job for Dan Kenyon this year. She's really stepped up, got high energy, very positive, hard worker.
She's just a freshman from Grand Forks, North Dakota, and has a good one.
Tell you what, Nebraska has come to play. They are sticking landings. They are not wobbling. This is going to get interesting. One more look at the dismount. Double full, one of the more difficult dismounts being done today on the beam.
Now we're going to go over to the uneven bars. We'll take a look at Michelle Browning of Iowa State.
Highest ranked all-arounder in the Big 12, and this kid, she has gone through so much in the last year. Health concerns. And has battled back, and she is really a leader for this squad.
She qualified last year for the NCAA, but had to withdraw due to blood clots. And she finishes strong on the bar.
Iowa State, they're not going away.
We'll be back with more from Columbia, Missouri. It's the Big 12 Gymnastics Championships 2011 after we take this quick break. Welcome back to the activity here. Let's go to the Big 12 Championships, and let's take our look at the event on the beam with Brittany Skinner. There she comes. She, of course, Nebraska.
Tough mount. Now she's following 4 very good routines. I think they had one score that was in the 9.6s, which obviously you don't want to count those, but so far for Nebraska, this has been a good rotation. Oh, that was close.
She saved it, although she will lose something. And
she's going to lose something there, too. She's just giving away those tenths. This is a critical moment for Nebraska. Nice leap combination. Those leaps need to be, the legs need to be 180 degrees. Those are those little things that the judges look for that you may not notice unless you have that judge's eye.
Brittany is an all events, all-around competitor, but the beam has actually not been her higher scoring event.
Gotta stick it. Good job, good job. A big save early, huge save early. That should be a good score. Let's take another look at this. Right there, that was actually the second wobble in her routine. The one right before that was a little bigger. That's probably a 10th. Not gonna kill her though. That should probably be in around the 9.7 range.
She may have salvaged something. Let's go to Iowa State's Jody McKellar on the uneven bar.
She is a rock star in this event. Big reverse hecht, wrong way. That means the low bar is in front of her when she does that. She holds the school record 9.95 on this event. Actually ties with a couple other Iowa State gymnasts, and they need a 9.95 right now. And you can't get it if you don't stick the landing.
Stuck it. pretty well.
Very nice job.
She was the Canadian National Open all-around champion before coming to Iowa State. Got a 9.975. Back to the beam. And this is Jamie Schleppenbach out of Nebraska.
Actually, the only gymnast on Nebraska's team who's from Lincoln. Kind of a unique story. She's only a freshman, but the coaching staff was telling me earlier in the year she had a competition. She was following up a few misses from her teammates. It was a critical routine, and she missed an acro combination. And in the middle of her routine, she took it upon herself to add in another acro series that she actually hadn't trained for months, and she nailed it, and the team's jaws just dropped. They're like, this girl is a freshman, and she just pulled that off. Coaches said it was a big moment, not just for her, but really in the whole season. The rest of the team took notice and said, look, we got to step it up. His toes were digging on that one. Look at her teammates in the back. They know they are in this. Good routine. Big hop on the dismount. We've seen a lot of stuck dismounts tonight. Unfortunately, she gave some away on that, but for the freshman anchoring the Nebraska Cornhusker squad, that's huge.
And that will be on the floor exercise.
This is everything on beam. It's the feet. Look at how much space they have to work with. I mean, you have nothing, and right there is where we were talking about digging in those toes.
You got to have strong toes.
You got to have hands on your feet, Greg, if you want to do this event.
Next up on floor for Missouri Tigers, Allie Heiselman.
All right, now here's one of the top ones of all the competitors, Mary Burke, on the floor.
Next on floor for Missouri,
Mary struggled this year a little bit with shin splints. And talking to her before the competition, I saw her with an ice cup, icing down those shins, and she said, you know, you ice them up, you get them numb, and you go out there and do your job. And she's really been tough, but the coaching staff did say it has hurt her floor a little bit. She used to do an Arabian double front. She doesn't do that anymore, which doesn't hurt her start value, but it's one of those big skills that kind of puts an exclamation point on your routine. But she does do this. Beautiful double pike.
Family. Her sister Kate was a gymnast at Iowa. Her brother Matt plays baseball at North Central College. She is one of the nation's best collegiate gymnasts.
And Mary was coached by a guy that I may say, in my humble opinion, for his generation, is one of the best coaches that this country has produced. His name is Leonard Isaacs. He's out of Chicago area in Illinois. And he coached not only a lot of great female gymnasts to world teams, but also a lot of great male gymnasts. And he's done a great job with his time with Mary, for sure. Doing what she does. One of the favorites in the all-around. You get the double fist pump, Greg. You did something right.
She had a high of 9.975 in the floor earlier in her career.
Finishes with a double back. You don't see a lot of double flipping dismounts. Usually you'll see the double twist or the 2.5 or a combination, but Mary pulls out the double. Nice way to go for Missouri.
The junior from Inverness, Illinois, Mary Burke. How about that? Oklahoma vaulting in rotation 2, and we're going to take a look at Sarah Stone. Now watch her. The senior from Dallas had a 10.
Houston,
Michigan State.
We have liftoff. Beautiful vault. A little slide back in the heels, but that was a huge Yurchenko full.
She's an Big 12 vaulter this year. And now Madison Mooring, the other end of the spectrum. She's just a freshman from Sallisaw, Oklahoma.
And she is springy, not just on floor, but on vault as well. Big blind landing. Yurchenko laid out with a half twist. Done well. Small step. Going to score well.
And Natasha Kelly, Katy, Texas, a sophomore, redshirt, missed some time with injuries.
Anybody want to question the toughness of the female gymnast? She's doing this with no ACL. Bam!
Oh, my!
Can't do it much, but who needs an ACL? Awesome, Natasha.
What a way to finish up. Rotation 2. Some of the action from the first 2 rotations. Greg Lucas here along with John Roethlisberger, and give me your thoughts on what we've seen so far. For one thing, I think the 2 teams that we expected to be strong are Nebraska and Oklahoma, and the same thing goes really for some of the all-around people, because this first half has pretty much followed form.
Yeah, well, first of all, the team competition, Nebraska being in the lead. We talked about this early, and even talking to the coaches before the meet, Dan Kending said if we're leading halfway, that's huge. Vault is their best event. They're ranked in the top 5 in the nation on that event, and those are also both 2 events that you don't miss real easy. Conversely, Oklahoma's got to go. They're good on bars and they're great on beam, but accidents can happen, mistakes can happen so much easier. Nebraska, they're in control of this meet. It's theirs to win. Now on the all-around side, Mary Burke, like you said, Missouri Tigers have a monopoly on the all-around title, and she's got a lead halfway through. Now, granted, it's tight. A lot of things can happen on that side, but it's amazing. I don't know what Missouri's got in the water down there for all-arounders, but they're doing something right.
That's what they do. Let's take a look, though, at the team standings as we head in to the 3rd rotation.
Yeah, there it is. Just that 1/10 of a point is it's so tight, but that is big that Nebraska's on top.
Rotation 3 about to get underway. Here's the way they line up. Missouri will be on the vault, Oklahoma on the bars, Iowa State on the beam, and the floor exercise, Nebraska. And we're going to go and start this one out, actually, on the bars, where Taylor Spears will lead things off for Oklahoma. They're in a battle. Oklahoma, Nebraska.
And you just saw Megan Ferguson leading that huddle for her Sooner teammates, cheering them on. They are in a battle, Greg. The pressure is on the 3-time defending champs to come through here. Everything is, it gets a little precarious now. They go to bars, they go to beam. These are the events. It's much easier to have mistakes than it is on floor and vault. They're done with floor and vault.
And Nebraska, of course, has extra incentive. This is their last year in the Big 12. And it's been Nebraska and Oklahoma that have dominated. So this is going to be quite a finish.
Freshman leading off for Oklahoma might just feel a little bit of that pressure too. You can see a few deep breaths. She's chalking up. The chalk box for a gymnast, Greg, that's like the altar. That's where you say a couple prayers before you got to get up on that piece of equipment. She might just have said a few right before this routine.
The freshman from Plano.
Nice. Taylor went to Woga. Very familiar gymnastic club for gymnastics fans out there. Produced 2 Olympic all-around champions and also a world champion in Holly Weiss, also a former Oklahoma Sooner.
Taylor was all Big 12 in the beam. Oh, but she's been very good in the bars. Didn't stick the ending, but she's had a really good one this year at 9.9.
Big time routine for Taylor. KJ knows it too. The freshman goes up and she answers the call. Only that small wobble on the landing on the dismount. That was it. Out of the gate, strong. Arabian double. Difficult dismount. You can see she just lifts that foot up there, but did her job. She started out, and if she's not careful, that score is going to count to the team score.
to the floor.
Next on
And Maddie
floor,
Steinauer
Maddie Steinauer.
out of Omaha, Nebraska for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. She's a senior.
Nebraska and Oklahoma have both had gymnasts go in this rotation already, and they basically matched routines.
She began her career at Cal State Fullerton and then transferred.
Comes her combination pass. This is where things can go wrong if they're going to go wrong. Nice, no problem. Slow it down a little bit, catch your breath.
Maddie's top event up to this point has been the vault, but she's registered a 9.825 in the floor.
Nice 2.5 twist dismount. Blind landing on that, a tough landing, but she does it clean. Nebraska stays on track. They are hitting. They're not giving Oklahoma any space for mistakes. The Cornhuskers have come to play.
And this could be a crucial rotation because Nebraska has the vault last, and that has been their strongest event.
There's their combination pass. I'll be honest with you, Greg, if they have a lead going into the last event, it's curtains for the Sooners. It's going to be next to impossible, but right now they are not. It's not a foregone conclusion that Nebraska is going to have the lead because Oklahoma is hitting bars.
Let's go to the beam and see Jody McKellar of Iowa State compete.
Iowa State's actually in a nice little battle with Missouri for that third spot right now. Again, with 2 rotations to go, a lot can happen, but it appears that they will be battling for that third spot.
Iowa State ranked 20th in the nation coming into this competition. Missouri, the only of the 4 not ranked in the top 20, but they were calculated to be about 32 if you added up all the points.
Nice side summy. That is a tough skill to do. As you see, she lands sideways on the beam. When you don't have that point of reference of that beam in front of you, it makes that landing that much more difficult. Another combination into her dismount. Nice job for the senior from Calgary, Alberta.
Let's go to the bars now. Kayla Nowak of Oklahoma.
As I mentioned, Oklahoma is rolling on this event. It's like the pressure goes up and they perform even better. They know just on the heels of Nebraska, and they know what Nebraska's got in front of them, and they know what they have in front of for themselves. So they got to make every one of these routines count.
Nowak has been one of the more best improved gymnasts with OU this year.
Oh, and that's deadly. Deadly right there. Now, she had good routines before her, so they have 2 good hits, and they have 3 routines following her, but the pressure has just mounted exponentially for the Oklahoma Sooners. They have to hit. If they have a mistake, Greg, in the next 3 routines, it's over.
Aaron Davis of Nebraska on the floor.
I don't know if Nebraska's watching Oklahoma on bars, but if they are, they know they have a crack in the door. And this girl can tumble. Look at that, full in, back out. That's big time gymnastics.
She's all Big 12 in the vault, but she has a 9.9 high in the floor exercise too, and she's heading that direction so far.
This is going to be big, Greg. This is going to be a big score. She's just got to nail this dismount. This is great gymnastics, great choreography. She can't do it better. She could not have done a better routine. What are the judges going to do? I tell you what, Nebraska has got their foot on the Sooner throat at 9.9, and they don't want to let them off the mat. This is getting interesting.
That equals her career high when the pressure was greatest. Dan Kendick cannot be anything but happy. Back at the Hearn Center in Columbia, Oklahoma coming into this meet 15-0 overall and number 4 in the nation. There's KJ Kindler, knowing her team might not be in quite the position she wants to be in.
If you look up concern in the dictionary, Greg, they have a picture of her face right next to it because she is concerned, and there is a lot of pressure on this young lady.
That's Megan Ferguson.
If anybody can come through. Now, they've had a mistake early in this rotation. However, it was followed up by a big routine. They can stop the bleeding, but every 10th counts. Megan has got to be perfect. Big dismount, full twisting, double back. Oh, that was such a huge save. She could have easily put her hands down, which would have been catastrophic, but those are two huge steps. That's going to hurt her big time.
Now Laura Evanstad on the floor for Nebraska.
I tell you what, just when Oklahoma thinks they need a break, this girl gets on the floor. She is 4th in the nation. She was the Big 12 champ last year. And she can go big. Another full in. Now, Nebraska hasn't been perfect on floor. They had a score right around that 9-6 range from Maria Scafidi, which isn't a great score. So it's not a killer, but they need to hit these last routines. Great choreography, nice leaps. She's the complete package on this event. Tumbles big, great showman. Does the easy dismount, but she's already done the big skills.
Laura Evanstad, Nebraska.
Oklahoma has a mistake. Nebraska answers with a big routine. Teammates are loving it.
Let's go back to the uneven bars. And we'll take a look at Natasha Kelly for Oklahoma.
So just to reset this, they've had 2 mistakes on landings. And this girl, Natasha, is outstanding on bars. Toe on reverse hecht. They need a 9-9. Flat out, they need a 9-9 plus from her. And if anybody can do it, she can. She's a former world champion, a silver medalist at the World Championships in 2006.
Next on floor for Nebraska, Laura Evanstad.
Sophomore redshirt communications major from Katy, Texas. Had a 9.95 as her high in the bars this year. Did a pretty good job on that one.
Good routine. I don't know if it's going to be a 9-9, but they had to have a hit, and that was, other than that landing, virtually a perfect routine for Natasha.
Janelle Giblin.
Now Janelle Giblin will wrap up rotation 3 on the floor for Nebraska. Sophomore from San Ramon, California.
Another nice double pike. We have seen so many great double pikes. It's become almost a compulsory skill for a lot of these girls. Kind of interesting, Janelle last year, her first competition as a Cornhusker was the Big 12 Championships, and this year she's really come on and helped that squad on the all-around in some occasions, but she's a regular starter now for the Cornhuskers. Greg, she claims that she's got a lot of great jokes and they're really funny, but I asked her yesterday and she couldn't come up with one. I don't know how to take that. But she's got a great personality, and really the whole Nebraska Cornhusker squad in practice yesterday were so light, they were so relaxed, they were joking around. Her teammate Brittany Habib was just yucking it up, dancing, and they just seemed really comfortable, like they had nothing to lose today, and so far they're competing like it.
Well, she's having an outstanding routine for someone who hasn't been in the floor exercise that much this year, and she finished strong.
Well, Greg, you're going to put me to the test because Nebraska, in my opinion, is going to have the lead going into the fourth event. And what did I say? If they have the lead, they are going to win. It'll be interesting to see how this comes down to the wire.
Iowa State's Michelle Browning is going to be on the beam. Of course, she's quite a story because last year she had some problems physically and has had to come back.
Gymnastics isn't exactly a sport where you can just pick up where you left off. I was out of shape, definitely, because I kind of had a couple setbacks through the summer and had to lay off of cardio and other kinds of practice. But with the support of my team and my coaches, I got on a plan that kind of helped rehabilitate me quickly and made that come back faster than I had hoped. So.
Michelle Browning from Mead Creek High School near Houston.
As we mentioned earlier, she's the highest ranked all-arounder in the country from Big 12, ranked 20th. And as soon as you bring her name up to the coaching staff from Iowa State, they just start to beam. They're so proud of this girl, overcome a lot, as we mentioned, just such a hard worker, wants to do everything possible for herself and her team to succeed.
Well, and as we indicated earlier, too, that problem that set her down was blood clots. That's not a typical gymnast injury. That's very, very serious. And fortunately, she was able to not only come back as a person, but as a gymnast.
And this is a great routine for Michelle. Perfect dismount. The all-around title is in play. It'll come down to the last event.
On beam, the Cyclones will have the floor. Let's have a big hand for the competitors in this afternoon's Big 12 Championship.
Wrapping up rotation 3, let's take a look at some of the top Missouri vaulters. This is Sandra Ostad from Oslo, Norway. She's a sophomore.
And they started off with a miss on this event, so all these girls got a hit. Nice handspring pike front half, a little low on that landing, cost her some landing deductions, but a very unique, don't see that vault too often.
Next up is Laura Swankowski of Chadds Ford, Pennsylvania, a sophomore.
Another very big laid out Yurchenko full. Actually looks like she could have stretched that out a little bit more in the air and stuck that landing. That was a huge Yurchenko.
Now the next two, this is Mary Burke, our contenders for the all-around. Mary Burke, a junior from Inverness, Illinois.
Our all-around leader. Nice, not quite as big as her teammate who just went, but that was still a very nice vault. Gave very little away on that landing.
Now Alex Gold also in competition for that championship in this her senior year.
The scores have been building. Need to put up a big one here. Oh, and there's the pike front half again, and we lost her behind her teammates, but that was a good landing. Should be even a bigger score.
Well, there you see it, at 9.90. That's the best of all of them in that particular rotation for the team. So we're going right down to the wire. Who's going to win the overall, and is Nebraska and their fans, are they on top? We'll find out. Don't go away. Welcome back to the Hearn Center at the University of Missouri. We're set for the final round, the final go of the Big 12 championships in gymnastics. And let's take a look at the all-around standings after 3 rotations. Things are very, very tight. No surprise that Missouri has some top competitors, nor that Michelle Browning is right there.
Missouri is an all-around champion factory, and they got the top 3 spots, but a tenth and a half between the first 4 places. It's going to literally come down to the last landing.
Now, on the team competition, it is Nebraska and Oklahoma running 1-2, and that is too close to call at this point with Missouri and Iowa State, because these last 2 competitions, the 2 rotations for Nebraska and Oklahoma, are really going to be tough. Here's the way the gymnastics rotation goes in number 4. Vault, Nebraska, one of their best. Bars, Missouri. Beam, Oklahoma, also one of their best. And the floor exercises, Iowa State. That's where they're lined up. Now, and KJ Kindler's Oklahoma team is number 2 in the nation on the beam. So this is not a bad place to start the final rotation. In fact, we asked the coach about that before the meet began.
Will be Alex Gold.
Well, sure. We go into beam with confidence every week. We've been very successful on beam this year. We end on beam at every away meet, so something we're used to doing. They're comfortable doing it. I don't think they feel any additional pressure going there, and you know, our expectation is to do what we always do when we go there, and that's to hit.
And we go to the beam, and this is Kayla Nowak.
You know, a lot of times, Greg, coaches will try to rationalize where they start and where they finish. And with the pressure on, oftentimes you think, yeah, you don't want to be on beam with the pressure on. But for KJ, number 2 in the country on this beam, and her Oklahoma Sooners, she might be speaking the truth. This is not a bad place for them to be. They can put up big numbers, and they have to. 4/10 of a lead for Nebraska is actually a pretty significant lead in women's college gymnastics, especially when you consider Nebraska going to one of their best events. Each one of these routines, now granted they can drop a score, but honestly they all need to be in that 9-9 plus. They might even need a 10 if they want to catch Nebraska.
Nowak working her way through.
Saw that little wobble early. It's going to be a 10. I know it's a broken record in the sport of gymnastics, but every 10th counts, especially at the conference championship when you hit the postseason. Those wobbles, those little unpointed toes, those little steps on the landing, they can be the difference between a championship and a runner-up.
Shea Anderson, Cyclones.
All right, good start for Oklahoma. Good start. They're going to have to go bigger, though. They are going to have to stick landings. They are going to have to be rock solid. And right there, great save. But still, it hurts. It hurts that score. All these scores, again, need to be up in that 9-9 range, and I don't think this one's going to be.
Well, as you see, it was an important start for Oklahoma in one of their best events, but it's the same for Dan Kendig and his team at Nebraska because they're number 3 in the nation in the vault. That's a pretty good way to get things going down to the wire of this meet. Maddie Stanhauer will be first up.
And this is a big advantage for Nebraska. Not only do they have a lead, beautiful vault, but vault is so tough to fall from. Even a hop on the landing, the worst case scenario is you get a 9-8. So, you know, on beam, it's easy to wobble. On vault, the worst thing the gymnasts often do is take a hop. So they're in a great situation.
They're feeling, if they're not feeling the pressure, perhaps. Now, this is Alex Gold of Missouri because she's in the competition, certainly for the all-around.
And she's got to put together a great bar routine here. The all-around, as we saw, is so close. Beautiful to Tkachev. Reverse hack, as it's also referred to. We did not expect to be talking about Alex Gold in the all-around going into the last event, but here she is, fighting for it. She gave away some tenths. Big step on the landing. It's going to be tough for her to stay up in that top 2 for sure after that routine, but it was good. A good finish for Alex Gold. Here's another look at the dismount. Looks like she was about to start double pike and then bent her legs, did double tuck. Nice meet.
All right, let's go back to the vault now and the team competition going down to the wire. This is Janelle Giblin of Nebraska.
Again, all they really need to do is land on their feet. So far, they look like one of the top 5 vault teams in the country.
So this event is going right down to the wire. We'll take a break and return with rotation number 4. Fourth rotation at the Gymnastics Championship for the Big 12. Let's go now to the beam. Oklahoma in competition with Nebraska for the overall team championship. This is Natalie Ratcliffe, a senior from Overland Park, Kansas.
The unique mount. Now, Natalie's following a 9.8 and a 9.85 from her teammates. Those scores, even though they're great scores, they're not going to be good enough given the situation. These have to be 9.9s or higher, or it's not going to be enough for Oklahoma.
Her career is 9.87 for the high. Ironically, last year she made her first collegiate appearance in the Big 12 championships and had a 9.9 on the vault. And here she is making her appearance this year on the beam in a very crucial spot.
This is a beautiful routine so far. We saw a nice aerial walk over to back handspring swing down. Nice combination. There's her lead combination. Perfect.
Been very smooth.
So far, this is looking very much like a 9.9 plus.
If it is,
it's going to be coming down to that.
Oh, that was very, very good, and we'll see if she can get to that point. She does, 9.9, which is a career high. And boy, she's come through with the pressure on the line 2 years in a row for OU.
And this was big. This comes down to this right here, doing the perfect dismount, sticking the landing. And I think she might have popped a few new vertebrae there with that back bend at the end, but that was solid, just what KJ needs. Nice 9.9. They need a few more of those.
Well, pressure back on Brittany Skinner of Nebraska in the vault.
Again, just decent landings, just nothing, no hands down. Oh my gosh, beautiful. You cannot do it a whole lot. You even saw her in the middle of the air kind of flare it out a little bit. And 9.8, honestly, if there's a 9.9 out there better than that one, I don't know how that didn't get a little bit higher score, but that was an amazing vault.
Yeah, we're going back to the beam now. Megan Ferguson of OU. She's at a 9.95. If she could do that here, that would really change things.
And she can go 10. She is so good. She's so precise on this event. She's so assertive. Look at that combination. Layout, step out, and it is like automatic. She's not even breathing hard. And OU has to know. They have to know that they have to be perfect. I don't know if KJ told them that before this event, but it's understood. It has to be, at the very least, understood. We have to be perfect. No wobbles, no steps, nothing if we want to have a chance. Very good sheep jump. Sticks it. It's a 9.9 plus. Double full. A little foot slide. I don't know if it's a stick, but you know, yeah, I guess the judges weren't sure either. A 9.925. Tremendous.
Boy, these ladies are coming down the wire in strong, strong shape for both sides.
Take a look at this acro series. Back handspring to two layouts. Boom. Boom. That's money in the bank for Megan Ferguson. Wow. With the pressure on.
They're just great scores. Jamie Schleppenbach.
Say that 5 times real fast,
Don't
Greg.
say it fast. We've seen her before. She's been impressive earlier. And look at her vault career high.
Hey, again, doing what they need to do. They have all your Chenko fulls on the team except for one laid out Suk full, which we'll see later, 9.85. Again, not hanging with that 9.925 we saw, but more than good enough for Nebraska at the moment.
Well, we know things are going down to the wire. The final rotation continues right here. Fourth rotation continues here, and a couple of championships on the line from the Hearns Center. The all-around championship as well as the team championship yet to be determined. In the all-around, a couple of top contenders are Michelle Browning and Mary Burke. Let's take a look at Michelle Browning on the floor exercise.
We saw that career high on 9.925. She's about a tenth and a half out of first place, and she's going to need probably very close to that score, assuming Mary Burke hits her bar routine. Beautiful mount, 2.5 twist, punch front. Very difficult. You're finishing that 2.5 twist blind. You have to be right on, and she did it as good as it can be done.
Michelle and Mary Burke are both all Big 12 in the all-around, so it's no surprise that those two are battling for the championship. Michelle from Maid Creek High School in the Houston area is a junior at Iowa State.
Another nice combination pass, full front tuck. We haven't seen those big double flipping skills, but still, these are very difficult passes. She can just finish clean. This is going to score very well and put the pressure on Mary Burke. Trying to wrestle that all-around title away from the Missouri Tigers.
Not going to be easy, but Michelle had a 39.175 score this year in a meet, the highest in any Big 12 on any Big 12 roster this year.
Got to be clean, double tuck. A little bit of a big step, but this is going to score well. Not sure if it'll be quite a 9-9, but nonetheless, she is going to force Mary Burke to hit. Nice finish for Michelle Browning. What a year for that young lady.
Well, 9.85, which is strong, but can she hold off Mary Burke? Mary Burke is going to be working on the bars in her final routine from Missouri.
And honestly, coming into this rotation, I would have said Browning has a little bit of an advantage just because bars tends to not score quite as high. Nice. Higgins right to a Jaeger. Tough combination. The girls are required to do 2 bar changes from low to high or high to low. Saw that pack salto going from the high bar to the low bar. This is going to be close. Oh, and she sticks the dismount, and dare I say that might be enough. That stuck landing might have put her over the top.
9.85, and that should do it, and that would keep the Missouri domination of this particular all-around event.
Unbelievable. We saw this dismount earlier today, but we have not seen it landed like that, and that might have been a necessary stick for her to keep the all-around title in Columbia.
Now we go back to the action on the vault, and this is Laura Evanstad of Nebraska.
And all she's got to do, she's got to just put it on her feet. She puts it on her feet. The Big 12 title's coming back to Nebraska. And she nails it. She could not have done it better. A very unique vault. Suk laid out with a full twist at 9.825. And they've had 5 vaults up. They have 1 left to go, but I don't think they're going to need it. Nebraska looks like they have got the Big 12 title back in Lincoln.
Let's take a look now at Natasha Kelly of OU on the beam. She has got to score very, very well. Very, very well. She's the last one up for OU. Even a 10 might not be enough.
And honestly, yeah, Greg, that's what I was going to say. I know our math isn't perfect, but from what I can tell, she's going to need a 10 plus. And OU, give them credit, they did not go away after a very tough bar rotation. They came back, and they were just so aggressive. They had a couple 9.9 pluses. And unfortunately, it looks like it's going to come a little bit short. But for Natasha Kelly, what a great comeback since she started at OU. She has been a rock.
Very solid.
Actually does not have an ACL in her right knee, Greg. She normally wears a knee brace. Decided to start training without that on the balance beam. Felt like aesthetically it was just better to go without it, but she does wear it on the other events.
Solid performance so far.
And at this point for Oklahoma, they don't know exactly where things are going to shake out. So they're just being aggressive and trying to be perfect. Ooh. Natasha Kelly, tell you what, a gutty performance from one of the veterans, 9.925. What a way to finish, regardless of how it shakes out. Amazing, amazing gutty performance from the Sooners. Did not go away. That's what championship teams do. They keep fighting.
That equaled her career high, and one judge actually scored her a 10, which is the only 10 anyone has been granted by anyone in this meet.
And justified too, Greg. There was no deductions in this routine. I mean, if a 10 can be attained, this is a routine to give it. This was about as good as can be done.
Now, Erin Davis will wrap things up for Nebraska, and she's in an enviable position because we think mathematically Nebraska has clinched, and they don't have to drop anybody. In other words, if she had disaster, it might not matter. But we don't think that's going to happen with her. Not on that one.
No way. And she's got an individual title to defend, and I bet you she just did it. 9.925. And that is an exclamation point. You don't need to put sugar on it because it was sweet from Erin Davis.
Now we're going to take a look at the final results. I know Dan Kendig is trying to figure them out. We'll figure them out. When we come back, we'll tell you who wins this thing, as well as the all-around champion. All the action is over here at Missouri as the Tigers grins over the final standings. Let's take a look at them here in the Gymnastics Championships. First in the all-around. Here's the way it wrapped up. Mary Burke keeps the Missouri string alive by outpointing Michelle Browning of Iowa State, and Mary's teammate Lauren Swankowski finished in the third spot. As for the team competition, it was Nebraska holding off Oklahoma in that final set, and they won at 196.775 to 196.500. Iowa State finishing third and Missouri fourth. The winning coach, Dan Kendig, he's down on the court along with John Roethlisberger, who also will be chatting with Mary Burke too, the all-around champ. John?
Thanks, Greg. Dan Kendig, Big 12 Coach of the Year, Big 12 Championship team. You said if you hit all your routines, this would be, quote-unquote, a wonderful meet. Does this qualify as wonderful?
Very much so. I told you all along that I liked where this team was right now and what we were doing, and we came in here today and we hit routine after routine after routine, and they're Big 12 champions, and that's pretty exciting.
So you got your team behind you. What are you going to say to them? Here's your chance on national television what do you want to say to your championship team right now?
We're not done yet. This is a scary team. We hit routines, we can go a long way this year, and so we're looking forward to it.
You hear that, girls? You're not done yet. All right, good luck. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
We also are joined by the new Big 12 all-around champion, Mary Burke. Now, Adrian Perry, Sarah Shire, Mary Burke. How does that sound? You keep the legacy in the family.
It's great. I mean, to follow those two great gymnasts, it's just unbelievable.
Now, the team competition didn't go great for you guys today. You have a young team, though. You know, what are you thinking about going forward, not just for the end of this year, but you have another year to come back?
Yeah, definitely. We have a talented team. It's a young team, but we have a lot of potential, and we're excited to finish out this season strong and hopefully move it on to next year.
Awesome. Congratulations. Good luck at regionals, and good luck next year as well. Thanks, Mary.
Thank you.
Back to you, Greg.
Thanks, John, and congratulations go out to the University of Nebraska, winning their first title since 2007 and 9 overall in the Big 12. That'll do it from the 2011 Big 12 Gymnastics Championships. For John Roethlisberger, I'm Greg Lucas. Goodbye from Columbia, Missouri, the home of the University of Missouri.